happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, is it going actually good, or is it like, you know what, I'm gonna muster through this heat that we have in the UK?
So that's the thing.
Yes.
We have had to change our rendering stuff because I cannot render at mine without AC. I cannot. It was already a struggle normally. Yeah. I cannot render at mine.
Yeah, that top would just burst into flames.
So normally we would finish the day with the Streamcast episode. We had to start with that, so we could render it with the AC going. That's why I don't have my laptop with me now, because it's rendering and stuff.
That's also why we've got the AC unit in the background. You probably can't hear it because I think these microphones are so good. We did some testing, but let us know.
And we're being very conscious of it now because this room gets too hot. Even in winter, it gets a bit warm.
Yeah,
and now
with the man energy and the lights. And
right,
stuff
exactly.
Like that.
We're sexy animals, but. So despite my computer not loving the heat, it's really not liking it. It is actually going good. I had a lot of good fun playing some stuff recently. I had a good solid 5-minute cuddle sesh with Isla a minute ago, which was great.
It's needed, right, for you to get right in the flex. I can't start the day,
mate,
without some Isla.
Don't get me wrong though. I'm privileged where I never get the waking up at 4 a.m. crying stuff, right? But I gotta say, those squeaks that she makes are just the cutest thing. So I am having a good day. What about you? How's stuff going?
I'm fucking exhausted.
Why? Because she wakes up at 3 a.m. crying.
Because of those reasons, yeah. It's
that's why you want to be an uncle.
The dumbest thing is that she does it in the cutest way possible. She's learned how to say mama and baba now, which is Turkish for dad.
Right.
And she
it's good thing you explained that one, because no one would.
It's true. It's very close to the. But in case people don't know. But it's so adorable that you can't even be annoyed.
She's too cute.
You just wake up in the night and she's like, Baba, Baba, Baba. And I'm like, hey, baby, how you doing?
I need sleep, but that's too cute.
That's too adorable. So I'm exhausted. But then again, do you know what? My whole life, I've been living on the edge of exhaustion.
Oh, really? You have as well?
That's the way I operate. So, to be fair, being slightly pushed over the line, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Do you know what does keep me going, though?
What? Let me know. Tell me.
Our super bros over at patreon.com/Conbrosations, who keep this show alive, who keep the gaming lights, going.
The mics and the gaming going over here on Conbrosations. That's crazy.
Those great mother truckers over there who support us at the Super Bro tier. You guys are the best. You guys are legendary.
Well, read out the ingredients on the box of medication.
The ingredients for this medication is Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Carol Torivia, a.k.a. Casper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Jeremy Renner,
See, that's right, an official Avenger. The list changes a hair, and we are thrown for a freaking loop.
It's like, what is even this list anymore? Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger. Marty Scorsese's Master H. Barts 12. The midget Aloy from Smallville Sabine. The former freeloader Christian. Master Chief himself, Albiscori. Super Sus Ben Fryer, who's a defective clone of Eddie. The guy thinks sandwiches are burgers.
QC failed on this one, innit? Fire that guy.
Jesus Christ, we need to fire that guy and then just quickly eliminate this one. The Star Wars Encyclopedia and Witcher Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling.
Yes.
Raj Vanderlin, he's got a plan, guys. You just got to follow him on one last job. The Filthy FIFA fanatic Joe McCormack, My Juicy Left Nut, and Kevin, the #1 simp. Of Xbox. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Conbrosations.
I love it. It's like the #1 simp. #1 simp.
For the audio listeners, they're going to get this huge gap. They're going to be like, oh my god, did the phone turn off? Oh my god,
did I run out of battery?
Just stop hard in the middle of the M25.
Right.
Just like, okay, I've got to stop to see what's going on. At least give them a pop to make them
feel
a
nice
satisfied.
couple of audio spikes after a silent period, where you turn your volume up. Just in case.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. So what have you been playing, good sir, before we jump into this news?
Yeah, so
which there's a lot of, by the way.
Maybe a week ago, or Monday, Bank Holiday Monday, I finished Control on twitch.tv/Conbrosations, which we are streaming over there. And I love streaming on Twitch. I'm really enjoying it. And also thank you to our sugar daddies. Thank you, Daddy, who subscribe over there. That was really good fun. It was really good fun. I was a little bit concerned that Control seemed to be a horror.
Right.
Or it was in that realm. And what it ended up being was this, a slight undertone of creepy and, unusual and oh, that's not right. but with so much curiosity thrown in, I just had to know what was going on. And the finale section with the ashtray maze and stuff was a peak for me. It was a pinnacle.
I'm glad you liked it.
I've been saying as well that one of the things that the powers in Control reminded me of was Infamous.
Yeah.
And then getting to play that section with the nice open spaces, with that, oh my God, that soundtrack, and like levitating, flying around, throwing sofas and summoning wall shields and stuff, like, it was incredible. It was great fun. And this weekend, because I got the full weekend off, probably going to go through the DLCs that come with it because it's in there. Also, the fact that I haven't paid any money for this game, as far as I can tell, like maybe whatever my PS Now subscription was or whatever.
PlayStation Plus subscription.
Oh, was it PS Plus?
Yeah.
Even? So it's come to me for free.
Exactly. You just pay for your PlayStation Plus like you would normally would.
I need
to
it
get
anyway.
online,
Yeah.
And you just get all of this stuff for free.
So it's functionally free. I'm blown away with it. It was a ton of fun. It was absolutely great. And then recently, actually last night, I finished Cyberpunk.
Oh.
And I rolled credits. And I feel really conflicted about that game because I want to like it. I want to love it. And I felt like the credits were phoned in. Like the finale section, I romanced Panam. And at the end, you know, you see some of your major characters that like you saved or whoever.
Important moments in the
right.
story, yeah.
And she's in there and they give you like a goodbye message like, hey, V, we will miss you, all the cold Eldorados or whatever, like come out when you're done. She gives you a message like that. Like my ending, we broke up.
That's some shit.
That's the ending I got. So basically the ending was that we break up because I still have side missions to do, right?
Yeah.
So it's to keep V in Night City.
Keep it going, yeah.
Like, so why is she giving me this, hey V, missing you, come hang out with the Caldorados, whatever. It's like, it's just, it felt like...
By the way, we can no longer smush.
Right, exactly. So it was, so also I found that the final battle, like the final boss fight, was, it reminded me a lot of the Khan fight, which is underwhelming, should I say, right? And there's no Uncle Shimura, you know, to bring it back up.
Yeah.
So I'm really not sure how I feel about Cyberpunk, and that I think is in itself damning. Like I should know if I love or hate a game.
You should know, yeah.
And I don't. So I think that's really damning.
That is really crappy because, I mean, this game's been through so much shit anyway.
Yeah.
But at least its redeeming quality could have been the story. Could have been amazing.
Right.
While the performance may have been terrible, the story could have been amazing. And there is great stuff there.
There's some incredible stuff. Panam and Judy, I think, are probably the highlights for most people.
But it's not blow your socks off, oh my God.
Not the ending, yeah.
It needs refining, but the story is going to get you there.
And I think back
really
to
sucks.
like the best games. To The Witcher 3, God of War, The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima. After all of those games, once I rolled credits... I needed to take a minute.
Yeah.
Actually, for The Last of Us 2, I took a couple days off gaming. But like for all of them, I had to sit back and go, the credits got 5 or 10 minutes in before I had time, before I was ready to do anything. And on this game, I was just like, it's not there.
I don't feel anything.
You roll credits on The Witcher, oh my God. You know, you roll credits in all these other games, God of War. And you're like, you need a minute to process. I didn't have that. Anyway, what about you? What are you playing?
2 games I've been playing.
Yeah.
I've started replaying Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I also downloaded that.
I downloaded
Even me,
it.
because I had to get it on my list anyway, right?
Exactly, and it was and also it's free, right? So
it's
like,
free.
Why not? Why wouldn't you?
It is still a gorgeous game,
They were
incredible
giving away.
aesthetic, good action.
I got into it because recently, and we're going to talk about it as well,
Yeah.
the Horizon Forbidden West gameplay came out.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I was like, oh my God, the fighting, the robots. I really want to be back in this world, so I went back into it. Now, I'm going to wait until I finish replaying it, but there was a couple of gripes that I had about it, but I think my gripes were from the here and now thinking about it, but not remembering everything properly.
That's also why I downloaded it. I want to play it again.
I think you should as well, because there's some bits at the beginning where I'm like, oh... Like, for example, my big thing was, why has she got, like, no wonder for, like, everything that she sees? Technically, she's had that focus thing since she's a child, so she's been building up the knowledge of everything that goes on around her. Maybe that takes away a little bit of the thing, so she has...
Maybe.
But I want to play more of the game to see if my feelings change at all. But, other than that, loving the world.
The world's incredible. The world's incredible. There's no...
And one thing is spurring me on to continue playing.
Yeah?
I got the Platinum Trophy. That's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I know you've already platinumed this game.
There's one trophy for playing on New Game Plus that I never got. So you bet your ass I'm doing it, boys. That's all the carrot you need on the end of the stick to get me going for it.
You really have a problem. See, people think this is a bit, right? But like, you're a trophy hunter. Like, it's obsessive.
Whore is
You're a
the word.
whore, and it's not a joke. I can't not do side content.
Yeah,
And people that have watched the streams, you get to see it. It's like, I think Diogo was like, "Oh, make sure you do the side missions." And I was like, "Bruv, you don't have to worry."
hold my beer just 1 second.
Yeah, like it really is a problem. But for you as well, like the trophies, for you that is a huge incentive, isn't it? Like it's a lot more than people don't seem to realize how big it is for you.
I'm excited every time we're playing a game and then a trophy pops. I'm like, yeah, boy, trophy hunters in the house.
For me, I'm just like, oh, cool, a trophy. It goes ding, you got a thing. I'm like, oh, cool.
This guy's playing the game for fun.
I don't
what
even,
a loser.
I don't even read what the trophy is. I don't even read what it says. I'm just like, cool. Well, let me look at the game.
Oh boy.
So you're playing Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn again. And one other game.
Yes.
On stream, I'm playing Mass Effect.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I thought you were gonna say Returnal, actually.
Oh, so that was. Do you know what? That's something I haven't played it in a bit.
Yeah.
But last week I forgot to mention it. I did play Returnal.
Yeah.
I got really, really stuck on the third biome boss. After beating, whatever happened, something snapped one day where I got through all of the enemies, got to the boss, beat him in first try, zoomed all the way to the fourth boss, beat her in first try, and I'm stuck on the next boss.
Right.
On the road to the boss.
Right.
Not the boss itself.
Right.
So. Something happened where I just made no progress, and then boom, jumped to the boot.
You do that with these roguelite things, though. Like, you did, you were having tons of trouble beating these bosses on stream.
Yeah.
And then off stream, you go and you beat, you cane them off.
It was Bloodborne when that happened
That's
as
it.
well. I was like, man, I can't get through this. It's going to take me like 18 streams to do it. Behind the scenes, I'm like, let me do a few bosses to speed this up because the platinum trophy is all we really care about.
Ding,
And then,
ding, ding,
right
ding.
there.
Yeah.
Don't know how it happened. Anyway, I'll play in that and
How you
having good
finding
fun with it. Returnal was actually good fun. It was only frustrating to me because I was like, what am I doing wrong? What is wrong here? It turned out it was just maybe I was getting bad drops or something like that.
Yeah, that
and
can
something
definitely
clicked
happen.
at that moment.
Yeah.
I had the good gun with the good perks on it, and then I carried on going.
Yeah.
And I managed to blitz
Cool.
through. I'm loving it, still loving it because everything is just as beautiful as I want. And
Right.
there's not been any crashes since that one time.
Cool.
No glitches, so they seem to have got the stability down as well.
Now, most important of all.
Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Something happened last night on stream.
I saw the clip. By the way, he made it all the way for me.
I got Rex killed.
That comes up, by the way. That will come up.
So, this is the thing, right?
Rex is one of my favorite characters, and he was killed obviously by a pinnacle character. Like, say, Liara, Tally was like, Rex, we can't be doing this. He's too much of a maybe Joker used the ship. Yeah?
Ashley murdered that motherfucker.
You space Hitlered him.
So this is the thing, right? I've continued the bit. Online where everyone's like, oh, you want to romance Ashley? I'm like, look, she may have some rough edges, but she's alright.
Forget the space nut. If you just remove the space nut, I think she's pretty good.
Everything else she's good at and whatnot. And then everyone's like, and then when I post this there, people are like, we told you not to go with her. She's look at her, look what she's done. And I was like, you guys just made it seem like she had bad movie takes or something like that.
You guys may just, maybe she actually liked Captain Marvel, or she prefers Infinity War to Endgame.
Yeah, something like that. And I was just like, oh. Anyway, it was a Leonardo not hugging Leonardo moment for me on an AC2.
I'm gonna say that's worse
because everyone demanded that I reload my save and correct my mistake, which I did do. So
Okay.
Rex is alive.
I'm gonna say,
and I hate that bitch Ashley now.
I'm gonna say, from now on,
Yeah.
despite what I want, your decisions have consequences in this game, like major ones.
Okay.
And you should stick by it.
I was gonna say I did it
As
because
much as
everyone was
Yeah.
going at me and the thing, but I feel like I should have stuck with it even though. Because at the end of the day, it's not like, I mean, it's just a game.
I mean, that's one way of looking at it.
So the world's not gonna end for me.
Yeah.
But it'll be entertaining to find out which way I went, and everyone being, can't believe you did that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's weird because a bit of me is like, as much as I hate it, I kind of want you to go back and have to play the game not having Rex, because you can, as you found out, you can get companion characters killed or they can die. And that means that they aren't in the future games where they might be.
Ah.
Right? So like your ME, you're still on ME1, yeah?
Yeah.
That save will carry over. And in ME2, Rex won't be there. Had he died, Rex would not be there, which might factor in if either he's a companion or if you go to a planet where, like, say there's loads of Krogan and he might be a good pick for it, we won't have that.
Yeah.
And then later on when you tell me what happens and you go, oh, I came here and I had this character,
And then you'll be like, no, but it could have been this way. It could have been like
right,
that.
exactly. So from now on, hopefully you won't get anyone killed, which you might do. I say stick with it. If you get, it is possible to get everyone killed, and you will have to do a new save emulate a new save in ME3.
Just start.
Yeah, it's
Mass Effect 3. Just like everyone in the
you
universe
have the
is
aura.
dead.
Yeah. So you ideally you want to keep as many as possible. It doesn't have to be everyone. If you make a decision and like 1 or 2 people die, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. What made me feel like I was a bit okay with going back and reloading my save is that I wasn't trying to get him killed. I was actually just trying to reason with him.
Yeah.
There was a very clear blue mark.
Yeah.
And I was told, that's the good one, pick that one if you want the good outcome. But it was on the left-hand side, which I was told the right-hand side was the good one, right?
And so
I guess it's a bit blurry. It's not all black and white.
Yeah, the chat wheel in general is on the right-hand side, moves your dialogue forward, and on the left-hand side, investigate. Yeah, dig a little deeper before you move the dialogue options further forward. However, anything in blue or anything in red is always going to be a Paragon or a Renegade option, no matter what. Even if it's digging a little or progressing it forward. And generally speaking, you're going to want to decide if you're Paragon or Renegade. Yeah. And pretty much once you're done investigating, it will say investigate. Once you're done with that and you've learned everything you wanted to learn, pick the option that you're going with. And also in your stats block, I think it's Charm and Intimidate. Charm increases your ability to do...
persuade people and stuff like that.
Yeah, and also like there are sometimes, I believe, there are Paragon options that if you're not high enough in Paragon, you can't do.
Right.
You just don't get them.
I saw that wheel and I was like, that's on the left-hand side. And I know that's going to be a good option.
Yeah.
But also I saw this one option. It was like, let's talk about this, Rex. And I was like, that's a good option. I want to talk this guy down. And I click it. Just before he even gets to say anything, fucking bitch Ashley just comes up and ices the dude in there. And I'm like, that's not what I was going for. Yeah. And then it didn't even give me the option to court-martial her or anything. Right.
I'm like, to draw down and blow her brains out.
So I was like, reload.
Generally, you want to always go, once you're done with the investigation, learning stuff, you want to always go Paragon or Renegade, just because it is that school of thought's ideal outcome. Right. So like the bad cop, Shepard might, hypothetically, I don't think you do this, but Shepard might have drawn down.
I think he has an option that alludes to that, but I don't know if it happens because I never clicked it.
I think if you pick the Renegade option, you do a stare down, I think you win. And that's one of the reasons that Rex follows you, because you're a badass. And Rex has spent enough time with Commander Shepard that he knows this isn't some squishy human. This is a warrior on the level of the greatest Krogan warriors ever. Okay. Anyway, in general, pick, I think you're going Paragon. If you see a Paragon option, take that.
Okay.
But so how are you finding it?
I'm loving it.
Sorry for the Mass Effect talk. I just realized we spent 10 minutes.
Especially it was a bit just before that where it was the Rachna Queen.
Yes. What did you do? What did you do?
I let her go.
Okay.
I was like, she seemed genuine. Yep. This alien thing as a queen is just I'm saying she. It seemed genuine. I was taking control of that thing. I was like, no, like we never knew anything about what happened before. We'll go to a place and start new. I'll teach them to be like good and stuff like that. Everyone else is like, fucking in a couple of generations our kids come back and or if they come back to kill them, it'll be your fault. And it's like, I'll be dead by now. I don't give a shit.
So that's what I was actually alluding to when I said with the Rex thing, like your decisions have consequences. And in 2, or 3, obviously, it's one of them two.
One of them two, yeah.
This decision
Or
comes
Andromeda.
back. We don't talk about that. But the decision with the Arachnite Queen comes back.
Okay.
I actually don't remember off the top of my head what happens.
It'd be interesting to see, though. It'd be cool to be like, oh, throwback to that first game. Awesome.
And that's why I'm excited that you've got all 3 to play, because all of your decisions from 1 are going to affect 2. So you'll be a different player by the time you're at 2, and you'll know the world. And if you were to play again, you would definitely do things differently. And I want to see what happens when you have to live with the decisions that you made. It's going to be great.
I'm loving it so far. It seems really cool, and everyone's very excited as well. They were loving my choices to kill Rex.
The best thing as well is 2's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like 1's great, don't get me wrong, and 3 is actually really good. Apparently, the updates to 3 have made it a really good game as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it started originally when I played it. There were 3 endings. Now there's 5, and those are very different. And one of those new endings is the canon ending.
They made new endings.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and they retconned it so that one of those is the canon, because people didn't like the original. So apparently 3 is now really good as well. Really, and it wasn't ever terrible. It was just the worst of the bunch. You know?
Okay.
But 2 is a masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece. I'm so excited for you to get there.
Well, let's see how it goes.
While we're talking about gaming,
we're going to be talking about gaming today. That is we've talked about what we're playing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're done with that.
We've got gaming news, but before that,
yes,
there is a group of people who I'm contractually obliged to thank. If you're watching this, we're not under duress, and we're doing this of our own free will. But for real, over on patreon.com/Conbrosations, the guys at the $5 tier, the true gamers, who basically single-handedly fund this podcast. They specifically said, look, we want a gaming podcast, and if you don't do it, the PlayStation gets it.
We butt rape you.
I was going with holding a PlayStation hostage. You went with a prison, right? But, whatever, it's fine.
Either way it works,
yeah,
right? Either way it works.
They're analogous, innit?
Those great people who butt rape us are Jeremy Horde, Sab2557, Juicy Left Nut 69, Record Friction, Real Kermit Cinema, Kadeka as God made her. So he sent me a video. It's a what's that guy's name? The talk show host, the ginger hair guy.
I don't know what you're talking about, bruv.
He's a very well-known guy, and I forgot his name. He sent me a clip of his.
Springer.
Not Springer, but anyway, he sent me a video of his to give me context as to what this is.
Okay.
And I know the context now. So, Kadeka, as God made her.
Okay.
Katz Bacoral, Isak Manny, Doc Nutella, Superwell Ben, Kevin Crow, Albuscori, Diogo. Hey man, where the fuck is Maria Judah though? Vanda, Benedict Clobbers, Fishy, The Jackal, Cobra SS, Jack Nicholas, and Max H. Thank you, bro, so much for keeping the lights and mics on. And the gaming going here, the True Gamer Podcast.
That's right. We do, despite all the shit we give you, do really genuinely love you.
We do.
Except any of you cunts who think a sandwich and a burger are the same thing. You can actually, let's DM us so we can block you.
Exactly. DM us all, so us both, so we can then know exactly who to block from the Discord server.
That's right. Get fricked.
Exactly. And we'll keep your Patreon money coming in.
Yeah, you can keep doing that. You can stay on Patreon.
Exactly. Bro, this is the True Gamer Podcast. Coming to these guys' eyes and ears every Saturday here on youtube.com. We need help coming up with a URL name if you want to drop anything down below and help us out.
Yeah, it turns out once you use one, YouTube doesn't let you use it ever again. That's it.
That's gone from existence. TE69 is gone for me as well. Coming to your eyes and ears every Saturday. Also on podcast services around the world. You can search for True Gamer Podcast on YouTube. You can search True Gamer Podcast on your podcast service. Rate us 5 stars, like the video, subscribe to the channels, comment down below and let us know what you loved about the show and all that good stuff. It helps us out. If you do want to take your support even further, if you want to go the extra step, you can be like these bros that we called out earlier and go head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations where you can chuck us a couple of bucks a month and it helps keep the lights on here and keep us going. However, if you can't do that, if you don't want to do that, if you think these fucking cunts don't deserve anything, that's fine. Just listening to the podcast, joining us on YouTube, joining us on Twitch streams and stuff like that is all gravy. We love you regardless. Okay?
Rating 5 stars, liking the video, leaving actual comments genuinely is
cool
enough. It helps. It's brilliant.
We love it.
We appreciate you. That was a big long spiel. Have you been practicing that?
Do you know what? I've slowly gotten better.
Okay.
I don't like to pat myself on the back too often,
right.
but that I've been getting a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for the support. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started. Next week is E3 week. It's Gamer Christmas. That's what this is right here. And guys, I've taken a bunch of days off of work so I can be here, so I can do all the reactions for every important stream.
It's my busy week.
Fuck Ubisoft. Oh, fuck off. Really?
Yeah.
Fucking...
I got Tuesday and Thursday free.
Whenever Sheps can make it, he'll be there as well. But there'll be gaming reaction streams for all the important streams out there. The Xboxes, the Bethesda, there's a PlayStation 1, Nintendo 1, all that good stuff. There will also be other videos going up of recaps afterwards. And because I have this time off, I might as well be streaming more Mass Effect while I'm at it as well.
Do it.
I want to get through that stuff. So there'll be more streams over on twitch.tv/Conbrosations. That's where everything will happen. And you guys can catch the VOD when it comes up on this channel afterwards.
Yeah, buddy.
That's really cool right there. One thing I want to bring up as well. We forgot this from the predictions episode.
Okay.
There was one prediction that Juicy Left Nut sent to me in a private message on Patreon.
Okay.
And I forgot to bring it up. So he says, I think we're going to get a quick gameplay trailer of Hogwarts Legacy.
Ooh,
something people didn't bring up.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hogwarts Legacy's dropped off of the map.
Yeah, I was hyped for that as well.
Everyone just seems to stop mentioning it. It was just that's gone now. Which also happens to be my most anticipated game, he says. And I think it'll be announced for mid-2022.
Ooh. Okay, we'll have to keep an eye on that prediction.
Any gameplay or anything?
Nothing really.
And 2, I think Lego Star Wars will finally get a release date. And I think it'll be October 2021. That game got delayed so many times.
Yeah.
I hope it comes out this year.
That would be sick. That would be a highlight for the year.
Exactly. Lego, Star Wars, you can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong there. So, guys, I've been meaning to start my stopwatch this whole time, and I didn't.
That's what you pulled your phone out for at the beginning, but forgot what you'd pulled it out for.
It actually is. So I'm going to start it from here, and then I'll know from here on out.
Right.
So, guys, today on the True Gamer Podcast, we will... What number did it say there?
It's at half an hour.
Cool. Guys, on the True Gamer Podcast, we're going to be talking about all kinds of topics, such as how Sony Bend has officially announced that they're working on a brand new IP.
Yeah.
Previously, it was a rumor. Now it's official. Sony Santa Monica Studio shocking the entire internet with the totally surprising news that God of War Ragnarok has been delayed to 2022.
What?
Stunned us all, I tell you that. Just I don't know what we're gonna do. All of us banked on it coming out this year.
I mean, I took out loans based on this information from Corey.
Corey, you owe us money.
It's true.
And
I'm actually heated about that, by the way, but we'll talk about it.
And the topic of the show.
Yeah.
It's official. God of War Ragnarok will be coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, we are going to be getting, well, other than Horizon Forbidden West, we're going to be getting a first-party game coming to a previous generation console 2 years after the next generation comes out.
Yeah, Can we start here?
We are going to start... Let me read the quote first of all, and then we'll go over it. So, there was a PlayStation blog post. It was an official interview with Herman Hulst, the head of PlayStation Studios, with the PlayStation podcast team. Yeah. So, it's all official. This is...
this isn't like a game journalist saying it is confirmed when they haven't confirmed anything.
And there's no... Wording was a little bit different. This is what they want to say. They said it to their own people. There's nothing... So it's all been crafted perfectly. So PlayStation blog post asks, how does PlayStation 4 factor into PlayStation Studios' development vision? Is it still a focus internally for future game development? And Herman Hulst says, it very much is. You can't build a community of 110 million PlayStation 4 owners and then just walk away from it, right? I think that'd be bad news for PS4 fans, and frankly, not very good business. Where it makes sense to develop titles for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, for Horizon Forbidden West, the next God of War, and GT7, Gran Turismo 7,
Yeah.
will continue looking at that. And if PS4 owners want to play that game, then they can. If they want to go on to the PS5 version, that game will be there for them too. That being said, it's very important to have showpieces for the PS5, hence the development of Returnal and Ratchet & Clank that are exclusive to PlayStation 5. That's the quote right there.
That's fucking backwards, bruv. I'm sorry, that is utterly ridiculous.
100% stupidity.
And here's my question. Why was it okay to do that for 4 generations? Why was it okay to leave the previous generation behind 4 generations in a row?
No one had an issue with it.
But not now. Why is that? What's changed? Because I know I appreciate Corona and all that stuff had a big impact on the market, but the PS5 has been the fastest selling console of all time. They've had the most units produced, most units sold ever in the history of Sony. Didn't all go to consumers, which I understand that is a potential issue, but this doesn't change that.
Yeah.
This is totally backwards to me, and the fact that the games that you picked, and I'm not even a Horizon fan, but no, Horizon shouldn't be on PS4, but God of War certainly not. I saw your tweet about it, and I saw a bunch of
couple of tweets.
your tweets about it, and I saw a bunch of people responding who totally missed the point.
Yes. Do you mind if I say my things
Please
I wrote down here?
take it away, especially because God of War is... We both love the game. We both, in our opinion, God of War 4 is the greatest game ever made.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I have this buffer window. I'm like, it's the greatest game ever made. It's like, it's just there. But I got like, if you squint, it's right there with The Last of Us 1 and 2. It's right there with like The Witcher 3, stuff like that. For you, you don't have that. It's like God of War and then the other games.
Exactly. I love those other games, but God of War is always going to be
your clear
up the
number
top.
one. Yeah.
Clear I can see it as day. So, I hate this greatly.
Yeah.
First things first, this is the first generation ever that we've ever done this in the history of PlayStation Studios.
Yep.
There has never been a PlayStation Studios game that's come out for a previous generation once the new generation is out. Never has that been done. And the reason for that is because it would give people faith. It will give people faith that you believe in this new console, and it will give them validation for taking that leap of faith to your new console.
It's $500.
Exactly. It's giving them a reason to justifying their purchase. That's your responsibility to do, to keep them loyal, to keep them happy, to keep them playing.
This isn't a third-party title.
Exactly. Third parties can do whatever they like.
Yeah.
They're about making money. You're about keeping your customers happy and keeping them in the ecosystem so then they spend more money with you.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Second thing, by the time God of War now comes out in 2022, let's say in the middle, let's say in the later part of 2022, loads of people are going to have PlayStation 5s. In a year's time, we're going to get, how many have there been? 10 million consoles already been produced.
Yeah.
They're probably ramping up production even more now.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's say 20 million, 22 million.
I think 20 is a safe bet.
Let's say 20 million PlayStation 5s out there. That's plenty of people to be playing the game.
Yeah.
And when you do put that game on that console, it then goes, there's this huge reason for me to buy this PlayStation 5.
Yeah, at the minute there's someone sitting there saying, I do want a PS5, but I don't need to get it right now. I'll just get it. God of War's coming to my PS4. Yeah. I'll get it, and when I get a PS5, I'll just put the disc in and get the update.
Yeah. And I'm not a huge fan of I'm not a huge fan of Demon Souls. Not a huge fan of the roguelites like Returnal and whatnot. Ratchet and Clank, I could take it or leave it, whatever. It's not. So, end of the day, it's a child's game. At the end of the day, so a cartoonish game, right?
Yeah, I see that. I understand.
Yeah. I want the deep story that's in God of War. I want these robot dinosaurs that's in Horizon Forbidden West.
And I don't need to spend $500 on the console.
Right now. Why would I need to hear me?
Can we pause on this point just for a little bit?
Go on.
Because a bunch of people responded to your tweets saying, you just want faster load times. Can we have you got those?
This is not about resolution or FPS or loading times. This is not what this is about.
Yeah.
All those people that seem to think that the reason why people want this game on PlayStation 5 is because we want a higher resolution, higher frame rate, shorter loading times. That's not it.
I'll take the same graphics as God of War 4. Personally, I couldn't care less.
Because it was great.
And I'll wait 2 years, they'll do an update. I don't care.
All of that stuff is a byproduct of the console just being more powerful and having an SSD.
Yeah.
It's what the console being more powerful and it having an SSD allows you to produce.
Right.
We've said before with the Unreal Engine demo,
Yeah.
the bit where the woman flies down from the top of that cliff all the way down to this portal at the end, the way that it loads everything in is not possible on a PlayStation 4 because the hard drive can't keep up with it.
Correct.
So you would have to engineer it in a way that you slow the person
It's a
down.
cutscene now.
Exactly. Either it's a cutscene, or you slow the person down, or you make it completely on rails and you put so much motion blur that you just can't see anything that's going by. You have to fundamentally alter that feature of the game. And that's what we want, why we want it to be on PlayStation 5. Because
Ratchet and Clank's a good example of this. The portals are not they're not a load time issue. They're a feature of the game, and that cannot be done on the PS4. It can only be done on the PS5. And yeah, it will have better resolution stuff as a byproduct of the fact that it's so much more powerful. But with that SSD, you can have these portals that load into new worlds. You cannot do that on the PS4. And so it's not appropriate to be on the PS4. It's a different game. You're making God of War a different game.
Exactly. And that's my final and third point, that we now have to live with a game knowing that it could have stretched its wings somewhere. It could have, one developer probably came up to them and said, I've got this really cool idea.
Right.
We've got this new hardware. We can do this, this, and this allows that to happen. And they're like, that's awesome. Except the I/O interface on the PS4 isn't as fast as the PS5.
Right.
The bandwidth on the memory on the PS5 is great, but the PS4's isn't good enough.
Yeah.
We're
Can't
gonna
do
have to cut it.
Or that's going to have to be a cutscene. And if it's a cutscene there, it can't be a...
It can't not
'Cause
be a
it's-
cutscene over here, so it has to be in both. And we have to live now with a game that, knowing that there could have been something in there. This isn't going to take away from the story, I don't think.
I tend to agree with
Some
you.
features could give more to the story. That's cool. But I feel like...
But then I'd be watching a movie.
Exactly. I feel like we're still going to get a great story out of this.
Yep.
This is still the great minds at Santa Monica Studios.
Yep.
Still Cory Barlog directing
Yep.
it. Still Christopher Judge in his amazing boy voice.
Yeah.
It's still going to be fantastic in that department. It's going to look great. They're going to probably give it as much as they can for the PS5 to get the resolution
Yep.
up, the FPS
Honestly,
up,
couldn't care
and
less.
the
God of War
loading
4
times
looked
up.
good enough. It looks incredible.
It's true. And also the loading time thing. There was no loading times on PS4
Yeah.
for God of War.
There wasn't.
So
it was a one take.
so-
That was the big point. It was one take.
How do you 0-0? Like, you know what you can do? This is not about any of that. This game can still be great. It's just that there could have been something else. And there could have been a conversation afterwards that said, this PlayStation studio, Sony Santa Monica Studios, are so great. They literally invented this technique. They invented this in this game.
There's a bunch of stuff that's been invented, by the way, on PS4 that was invented because they wanted to tell a story or do a mechanic. So they made a thing.
Yeah.
But we can't do that because we are, for a fact, limited to what the PS4 can do.
Exactly.
And then up-resing. You have to do it. You have to build from the base up. You can't go from the PS5 and turn it down because it works on a brand new architecture. Can't be done. It gets worse.
Go on.
Because those people complaining that we want to be able to play it on our PS4, by the time that it comes out in 2022, a bunch of them will have PS5s. And then the thing is, I understand the argument if you're saying, well, you're limited, you're making it so I can't play it on my PS4. But the product you're going to get isn't the game that you're asking for. You want God of War 5, you're going to get a game called God of War 5. You're not going to get God of War 5 because God of War 5 has to be a PS5 exclusive. It has to run on that brand new SSD. It has to run with those new things. Like I say, there will be probably like awesome boss fights where different things can pull in all at once, but that can't happen.
Yeah.
And then instead, there'll just be a cutscene at the beginning where a bunch of different enemies jump in because it won't work on the PS4. And the fact that half these people complaining will have PS5s by the time the game comes out and they throttled it so that they could play it on their PS4, which they don't use anymore, hurts me, man. I really, it shouldn't be that. Look, if you think Ratchet and Clank should be a PS5 exclusive, which it should, there is no way God of War 5 should be cross-generation. That's such a weird concept to me.
That's the worst part, because the irony is that they're saying to us that we're being like,
selfish.
babies and selfish, that we want our game on our brand new system, blah 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 blah, when really they're doing the exact opposite. They're saying blah blah blah, we want this on our console so we can play it, blah blah blah. I don't care if it's worse, blah blah blah.
I don't even care.
I don't care if it's missing this feature. I don't care if it could have been better, blah blah blah. I want it on my system now. I can't wait. And then by the time it gets that time, they have the opportunity to buy a PlayStation 5. And no, I've got the PlayStation 5
But God
now.
of War really wasn't as good as I was hoping.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. And also, look, it's been delayed. It's coming 2022. So the fact that it would be a PS5 exclusive doesn't change that we'd have to wait for it on our brand new consoles. Right? Like, that's something I've come to terms with. And there's a bunch of great titles on there anyway. I'm content. I would rather wait a little bit longer and get an incredible game. But it needs to be on the PS5. Because if anyone's going to invent something, I mean, they did it in God of War 4.
Yeah.
Sony Santa Monica, that one take gameplay, that was them.
Yeah.
That was God of War 4.
That was them. They invented that.
They invented it for storytelling purposes on then 5-year-old tech.
Yeah.
Imagine what they could do now. What they might invent. What creativity they might bring to boss fights, to storytelling, to encounters. Oh, well, never mind. They're limited. They're limited to making whatever they could do with God of War 4. So you're getting God of War 4.1.
Or we're gonna, exactly. It's not going to be a full step. It's not going to be a full leap forward. It's going to be just a nudge.
Yeah.
The story's going to be great. I'm pretty sure the story is going to be great. That's my. It's made by the people that made the best game that I've ever played.
Yeah.
So I have complete faith that
Story's
this game is going
be
to be great. And I'm going to be in tears at the end because I'm sure there's going to be some sort of great story twist.
I am with you there.
But there is going to be something afterwards. After I'm done, I'm going to be like, wow, that was such a great game. I loved every minute of it. And then it's going to come to our discussion, our review discussion. I'm like,
do you know this boss fight? I bet they could have done this. Or, what do you think didn't make the cut because the PlayStation 4 couldn't?
I was going to say the Horizon Forbidden West trailer. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we'll go to properly in depth in a second. The grass movements. The way that the vegetation moves around Aloy, it doesn't move very much. It moves very little. Yeah. And every time I looked at it, I don't know if it was pre-rendered.
It is Aloy is within a range of a thing. Pre-render this motion.
And so it didn't even move. And the thing is, it didn't even move like, oh, she moved like that. It was more like,
right.
And I'm like,
that's not PS5.
Because I know that this is cross-gen, where did they have to make the sacrifices? Yeah. Was that one of them? I don't know. I'm not a developer. Is that one of them?
It'll be annoying things like with the PS5, clipping should no longer really be a thing because it can render individual items on top of each other as opposed to
has all that extra horsepower.
Exactly, as opposed to having two models that have to fit in a space, you can render one and then the other. I bet we're going to see clipping because it has to work on the old model. And running code, just because you run it faster, doesn't change that. So if there's clipping, there's clipping.
It needs to be fundamentally changed, and whether or not your system can handle that is the thing. I do want to bring up one tweet.
Yeah.
Back in May 30th, so pretty much a month to the day almost.
Yeah.
In 2020, sorry, a year to the day. PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan said this 1 year ago today. Jim Ryan wants developers to, quote-unquote, make the most of the PlayStation 5 hardware and isn't interested in making PlayStation 5 games run on PlayStation 4. And the lie detector test determined that was a lie.
That tweet aged like milk.
Warm, left in the sun with extra yeast poured inside it milk.
Right.
That's how badly that aged right there.
It just doesn't make sense. We've had 4 generations, and prior to that, plenty of generations of other consoles where the new one comes out. And your other stuff doesn't play it. Nintendo's done it a bunch. Like, I have my original Game Boy games. They don't play on, like, a bunch of their consoles. Can't put it in a Switch.
Yeah.
Generational changes happen.
Yeah.
Why are we going to do this? Because by the time it comes to even Xbox, who are the real villains here, because they changed the discussion because they had no first-party titles.
That's actually the thing that I'm really annoyed at. And That's the thing that I hate the most, because this is a Ryan Johnson situation, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I agree.
Because they came along, they saw their forecast. They're like, we haven't got many games coming up, and we know we're not going to get the install size.
Yeah.
Our projections show that our sales are going to be soft coming into the next generation. If we make an exclusive game, we're going to get no money back. Let's make it then that everyone has to make every game for every console that's out there, so that we can maximize the amount of money going through. And then they were like, the reason why we did it, guys,
We're pro-consumer.
Pro-consumer. We
For
did
gamers,
it for you.
by gamers, the gaming.
We did it for you guys. And they ruined this whole thing. They've set this precedent to make it seem like it's pro-consumer to do that. And that's the Ryan Johnson effect. Ruin the whole trilogy.
It's good business for Microsoft.
It's good business.
They were in a weak position, and they made the most of it. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But it changed the discussion somehow for PlayStation. I just think they should have stuck to their guns. But it changed the discussion. And it was done on purpose because Microsoft knew they had nothing coming forward. The problem is, even they said only for the first year.
Yeah.
For the first year, anything that comes out will be on both platforms. We'll be 2 years into the life cycle of this console. There's no need to bring a 2-year-old, a new gen, to a current gen, 2-year-old title. How am I trying to say this? 2 years into the life cycle of a generation to bring out a game that plays on the last gen.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Do you want to know what's more nefarious about this?
Go on. How does it get worse?
So, Microsoft said that, but the thing is that they haven't had a game to back that up. They haven't had a game come out that's made from Xbox Studios.
Yeah, because that's the point. They changed the discussion.
Exactly. So what they were really doing is they were trying to get under the skin of people so they can then force Sony to make this decision. Because think about if Sony had come out with a banger game that had a brand new feature that was amazing in the first year of the console's life cycle, and
which,
Xbox
by the way, probably will still
there,
happen with Ratchet and Clank.
It's true. And Xbox are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs
Right.
for the next year, 2 years.
Right. Instead, they got a gut punch in. Yeah, but you're leaving out all your PS4 players. And the thing is, all it takes is for them to say, we understand that we have a passionate base on the PS4 and we love them. But we have moved into the next generation and we want to produce the best games that we can produce. There are still people making games for the PS4. Some games will come to the PS4. But we're not going to diminish how incredible storytelling and game development can be for a console that's 8 years old that came out in 2013. And I think that's a good enough line. And it would be people would be salty, but eventually that will within weeks that will go away.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
And you just keep showing like, look, here's the stuff, and then people say, well, why isn't it on PS4? And you say, do you think your PS4 can handle this? It sounds like a jet trying to play Ghost of Tsushima, which is one of the most finely optimized games, and I use that specifically, is one of the best optimized games ever.
Yeah.
And it still sounds like a jet trying to take off.
People haven't questioned Ratchet and Clank why isn't it on PS4, because they've seen it running in action. They're like, yeah, this could not run on a PS4.
It's also smaller and more niche. I understand that. It isn't a God of War. I get that, but
and also recently Cyberpunk 2077. That game shouldn't have been on current gen consoles.
It barely ran on current gen.
It came out on current gen, and look what happened. On top of ruining the whole narrative of that game, I mean the narrative around the game, not the actual narrative of the game, ruining what it was on PlayStation 5, ruining what it was for everybody. It also came out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and
damn
it was
near
garbage.
bricked them.
Exactly.
It didn't run at all. Those people were the most underserved in the Cyberpunk sphere.
Is that what you want for this?
Right. It will not be able to do. And worse, forget how your game runs, because if it's made for the PS4 like a PlayStation exclusive will be, take your experience of Cyberpunk and transfer that into just how good the game is. Right? So how bad your experience of a game was, and they take that and go, that's the quality of the game we're going to make, because that's what it needs to be to run on 8-year-old 2013.
Yeah. And someone said to me, I said 8-year-old because that's what it'll be by the time
By
it gets
then,
to God of War. But someone said to me, actually, it's more like 10 years old, because they probably locked in those specs 1 or 2 years before.
That's a solid point. Yeah, because
One guy did a random person who saw my tweet passing by said as well, like, Mark Cerny did a deep dive, an hour-long deep dive all those years ago, that event, explaining why future games can't run on old hardware. While Xbox Series X was shackled by the Xbox One with those future games because of what they said right there. To cater for a hard drive, a normal standard hard drive loading, game design can't evolve, which is why Xbox is held back and everything like that. It's holding back the future of games. We now are going to get a great game, but we're not going to be pushing the boundaries of gaming forward, all because we're just trying to get it on previous generation consoles.
Well, it depends. I'm going to give like a potential, not silver lining, but like if they say, like we have said, the only way to do this properly is to develop 2 games where, let's say you were to do Ratchet and Clank, or we use this as an example, instead of Ratchet and Clank falling through a bunch of those portals like we see in the game, if that's just a pre-rendered cutscene for the PS4 and the PS5, you actually can experience it and adjust stuff.
Yeah.
Then okay, it will kind of work, but then you have to consider them 2 different games. And if you get the PS4 one, you get the PS5 update, but it says this is changing the game. Like this will not be a graphical update. The gameplay will change, mechanics will change. Do you want to get the PS5 update?
That's something that I was contemplating, and this would never happen.
No.
Never happen, because it's far too expensive. But the only way that this would be acceptable was if they went, we're making 2 games
simultaneously. Yeah,
these are 2 different games.
Yeah,
and I don't understand how you would be like, okay, this one has a story beat and a path, and because of this, you do this thing and da. But because you have the extra hardware, we had this really cool idea that we wanted to add because we really loved it, we're passionate about it, that we had to cut for the PS4. We're going to do it this way. That then fundamentally changes the game.
Yeah, I think what would end up happening is you'd have things like boss fights, where in the PS5 you'd end up with multiple extra playable sections of the, or what do you call that? Like playable, like what phases of a boss fight.
Right.
And in like a PS4 version of it, that stuff where like the monsters pop in out of portals and stuff is pre-rendered, and they just change the boss fight, so you get a pre-rendered cutscene, and then you start with the boss and say a few of its little minions. Whereas on the PS5, the minions pop in.
Possible.
It's possible, and I believe the guys at Sony Santa Monica, if anyone was going to do it, probably these guys. The problem is they shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be doing it, and I even said this. We said this when you had a PS5 and I didn't, and it looked like I wasn't going to get one. And I said I still don't want God of War coming to the PS4. I don't want to play it on my PS4. I want to play it on the PS5. It should be on the PS5. I'd rather not play it and know that the game is what it is, so that when I get it, I have something to look forward to. We've been really consistent on this because it's more important that we get the best story that can be told, the best game that we can experience, and have to wait a bit longer to play it, than for them to have to be shackled into this older style of gameplay. And it's frustrating because, like we said, what might they invent? They invented a bunch of stuff for this game. For the God of War 4 pioneered a bunch of different things that now are just the way that third-person story-focused character-driven RPGs are made.
Yeah. I keep going back to my thought, and this is, maybe I'm just really feeling artsy about this. Maybe I'm thinking too much about this because I'm.
We're both deeply invested in this.
I say we're creators. Franchise. We're not in the level of their creators, but we have the same.
I don't know. Have you guys
feeling.
seen the Minecraft video?
We've got passion behind what we do.
Yeah,
and they have passion behind what they do. What I keep thinking is, what could they have invented? Like we said, that maybe is their thing, where people turn around and go, "Fucking hell." Sony Santa Monica Studios did this. Everyone else, what you guys are doing, a child's play. These guys did this. And then they get to go up on stage and they go, award for most innovative game design.
Yeah.
And then everyone else calls on for interviews. Like, how did you come up with the concept for this? Nobel Prize. No, I'm not going that far.
I know what you mean.
But they do all this stuff and everyone asks the question. And they've been robbed of doing that because they have to stick to the old design. because they have to make a game that would run in the same way that it's been running on a console for the past 8 years.
It's funny. This is the difference between us. You were thinking of like, what could they make?
Yeah.
I had this little tragic story in my head where like
break my heart. Go on.
One of the devs for the PS5 God of War 5. It's sort of like, yeah, PS5 exclusive. This is the hardware. This is what it can do. And like runs back to his desk, opens his drawer with like this crumpled note of like a thing that he wanted to make, but he just couldn't be done before. And in his head, he's thinking, well, actually, if it can do this and that, it can pull multiple things and it runs that fast, quick maths, like actually that is fast enough to do it. Unfurls the thing, like gets the crease out and he's like, yeah, I want to do, runs to Corey's office like, Corey, look, we can make this now. Like this thing, I know I said it to you, but you said it couldn't be done, right? We couldn't do it, and no one thought you could do multiple processing like this. And he's like, no, we're doing it. It's got to run on a PS4. That in my head
slayed me.
That in my head is what happened. Someone at Sony Santa Monica had this idea, but was like, that is ridiculous, right? You know when we got the PSVR 2 specs and we were like, no console can run that. It'd need a beast gaming rig.
Yeah.
And then we see the PS5 console specs and we're like, actually, yeah, that could do it.
Yeah.
I think that happened. I feel like someone crumpled up a note of like, that is too ambitious. That is for 2 generations down the road, stuff like that. Went back to the desk, unfurled it, looked at it, did some basic maths, checked that it would actually work, like conceptually, and then was told, no, it's going on PS4 again.
That killed me, man.
It's tragic. It's tragic.
That is really you could see that happening as well. And this is the thing, the creative people that are in there, they're those kind of people where they like obsess over something and then they're like, oh, I really want that to work. And I can
make one-shot storytelling work. Corey, let me do it. I can make it work. I can optimize this on the PS4. I can optimize that. If we do it, if we film it like this and shoot it like that, we can make one-shot storytelling work. Okay, give it a try.
That was essentially how Corey did it, because that was his idea, and everyone was like, no, let's not do that.
No, it can't be done.
Way too...
It can't be done.
Way too difficult.
Too expensive, too difficult.
And then he was like, no, we're doing it. I'm going to do it. I can do it. I will push everyone to do this.
We can do it.
Did it. And that's what's being robbed of us now.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think people don't understand how much how many firsts we've had. The Apex ping system.
Yeah.
The one-shot storytelling, the whatever they used in The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, where they were running at 30 FPS, but you couldn't tell.
But it looked so silky smooth. You were like, is this 30 FPS?
Whatever that is, that smoothing,
frame blending, interpolation, whatever it is.
Whatever that is a first, because that wasn't in God of War. As incredible as God of War 4 is and the combat is, you know it's 30. You knew it was 30. Like, there are a bunch of firsts, including God of War's one take storytelling. Like, we get a surprising amount, and I don't think we're going to get a few of those for a while, really.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Portal thing in Ratchet and Clank, kind of specific to a Portal-based game. A game where portals or whatever are a big deal.
Yeah, it's very much for that game.
For a game like that, it's not going to really find its way into a lot of games. But the one take storytelling is in everything now. It's like bullet time. Once it was done, you got to do it. Got to use that effect. We're going to have to wait 2 or 3 years to see what that
and maybe
is.
And who knows, even if, like, because God of War is very special to both of us.
Yeah.
Who knows if there's going to be a God of War 3? We'd like it to be a trilogy, but it doesn't have to be a trilogy.
It doesn't have to be.
And what if there isn't another one now, and it means that we won't be able to get a God of War on a true PS5?
What if God of War 5 is intended to follow on by 6, but it just doesn't do well enough and doesn't get the reception because it's ultimately a PS4 game?
So it's just more of God of War,
right?
Which isn't really a knock, but
it's not a knock, but
it's just more of more, more of that. Good job, Cory Borlog. All right, see you next year.
Yeah, Sony Santa Monica, we want you on a new PS5 exclusive.
Ah.
Talking of new titles, what's happening to Sony Bend? Are we done?
One thing I just want to mention,
okay.
some people also bring up the point, and that's a valid point as well, that there are 100 million PS4s out there, over 100 million PS4s.
110, I think.
Yeah, so PlayStation were obviously trying to cash in on those people right there. And that is a business move.
Sense.
It makes sense. We understand that.
Yeah.
It's a short-term cash grab, because the reason why you would go for an exclusive on the new generation console is because then you make it incredibly enticing to go for the
There's
new
an
console.
incentive now, yeah.
And then they buy the new console, which costs more money. They buy peripherals for that console, an extra controller, a camera, a headset, whatever it might be, which is all great. And you've got the new 3D audio. You probably want to get the 3D headphones, right? You want to
Imagine
get
playing
those?
God of War 4, God of War 5 without that audio.
Exactly.
Or haptic.
You're going to get the new games. The new games, they cost more now, not an extra $10. Even more microtransactions going through the new system.
What's God of War 5 going to cost?
Probably going to cost $70, but I bet you it's going to be $60 on PS4. Bet you 20p.
But this is the thing. Right? So that's the question: is you're going to make the game and charge one group more, one not?
And that's
if you,
added bullshit to your thing.
And if you charge it at 60 or 70 on a PS4, no one's going to want to buy that. Exactly. It's too expensive. Why can't I get? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
That's fine. This is
I'm
valid.
heated
This is going to
about
come
this.
up, and that's a valid point. And as I said, the reason why you wouldn't do it though is for all of those other benefits. You sell more consoles. You sell another set of peripherals and accessories.
Yeah.
You sell more games at a higher price. You still have those people on your system, and it just more and more. It's more of a cascading effect.
Yeah.
And then you get to go to investor. You say, hey, we sold 50 million units in the first 3 years.
Yeah.
Boom. Drop.
Jesus Christ, they could actually do that as well.
They could, but only if they have exclusive games for it.
Yeah.
And Ratchet and Clank,
it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's not
respect due.
It's not.
Due.
No, it's not pushing PS5s.
It's not. People are gonna be like, that looks hella's fun.
I love these games,
I'm not spending
but they're not
£500 to go get it.
No, not at all.
But it looks hella's fun. Returnal, as much as I'm raving about it, it's still a question mark for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Still not there. Demon Souls is a remake of an older game, even though it looks good. Astro Bot, again, not a system seller.
I wouldn't pay full game price for Astro.
God of War was a system seller.
Yeah.
Horizon would have been a system seller. The next Uncharted game system seller. If you make these PS4s available on PS4, you're losing out on system sellers.
That's loud.
Anyway, that's a good cut right there. It's a good cut.
Oh God.
Oh, everything's going off, guys.
It's all going. Oh God.
Yes. So
Yeah.
the next thing.
Well, so my question, Sony Bend,
Yes.
because we're talking about developers and stuff. It's been confirmed on a new thing. What are they making?
That we don't actually know.
Okay.
So they did say that it's based on. It's not based in the world.
Just gonna text her real quick.
But based on the open world scenario scene that they've built Days Gone on. So it's going to be something open world, and it's going to be something exclusive to the PlayStation 5, they said. That's what they said.
Okay.
They've only just started, so how many years down the line it's going to be? 4 or 5 years down the line?
So this is the thing. I think people forget that even a title that you can pull assets from realistically takes 4 years to develop. Horizon, we knew God of War wasn't coming in 2020, 2021 even, because at 3 years old, it's not enough time.
I was trying to convince myself, actually. I was like, I mean, they said it, so could we be getting it sooner? Could we?
But then the thing is, you think, okay, so what assets can we pull? Okay, we can pull all of this stuff. We can pull most of the character models. They're just going to up-res some stuff. That should be fine.
But really, it was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
You need 4 years on a title where you have assets to as a jumping off point.
Yeah.
And a story idea, like a story from which to continue from. Starting something brand new is an easy 5 to 7 year project.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it just.
So it was still probably a ways out. I was excited because the way that they said it in their post. If I can, I've got it here actually. Let me just quickly read what they said to you. The passion that they have behind it sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's like, we are beyond grateful for your support with Days Gone and truly honored by the amount of passion our community has shared with us for the world and our characters. Your enthusiasm motivates us to continue to improve and create experiences that will last a lifetime. These words are so passionate.
Sounds like early CDPR in it.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
God, don't say that. From Siphon Filter to Resistance Retribution to Uncharted Golden Abyss and Days Gone, we are very excited to announce that we are expanding the Bend Studios portfolio with a brand new IP. We hope to embark on this journey with us, and we can't wait to show you what we've been working on at Bend Studios. I love the passion behind this, and I love that they're working on something they seem to be genuinely happy about.
Yeah.
This could be bullshit, we don't know, but what we
never
get
know,
from the words, that's what we get.
Yeah.
I was a little bit upset that it wasn't Days Gone 2, but we had that sort of rumor before that Days Gone 2 was not going to happen.
Thing is, though, if they smash this next one and then they say, look, we really want to do Days Gone 2,
Could you imagine they go back to it?
they
Woo!
might. It's not the first time that's happened as well. You know, like
Yeah.
it's not. It wouldn't be the first time ever for a studio to make a title, make something different, and then come back and make a second installment.
Sony Santa Monica did that. They were going to be making a sci-fi shooter, and they canned that and then go back to God of War.
Yeah. So it can happen.
It can happen.
It can happen. And Bend has been. They're obviously well respected, right? Like they told Sony we don't want to be absorbed.
Yeah.
And Sony said, okay, well, different project then. They didn't okay Days Gone 2, but they said okay.
It seems so strange the way they were like.
I really think it was just a shit pitch.
It has to have been, right?
Has to be.
Because that's it seems so contradictory. It's like, we don't respect you, go and work on Uncharted. And then they're like,
Well, also
we
go and work on its Uncharted.
yeah, one of the best things ever. And they're like, we respect you, so go and make your own IP.
It's odd, isn't it?
It doesn't make sense. Maybe it was just a crap pitch.
Yeah. Or maybe they just don't have anything.
It's possible.
It would have just been more of the same.
It's possible. There was one other thing I wanted to read from the the interview that they did, right? PlayStation blog post guys asked, do you see single-player narrative games as an essential to the PlayStation Studios console experience? And Herman goes, absolutely. Single-player narrative-driven games, that's our DNA.
Yeah.
PlayStation Studios have made... in my mind, some of the most memorable experiences, narrative experiences available. We love making them, and we love making them as long as our gamers enjoy them. For me, the idea is sitting down on a Friday night and playing with a brand new world and a great story to explore. That sounds perfect, right? So it's really good that they've got their... They know exactly what they're about, and they want to continue that. So that's really cool. They also did mention in this, Sony confirms that PC versions of games are coming to PC, but none of them will be day and date with PlayStation.
Good.
So that's a good thing. It means there is still a reason for you to buy a PlayStation console.
But even still, some of the titles they've given, I don't think are a good move. I think Horizon was too much, to be honest.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I would have thought Horizon, being their... It's one of their newer tentpole.
I would have said Horizon Zero Dawn a year. If you're gonna do it, a year after Forbidden West comes out. Yeah. So it's that late. So yeah, this incredible game, but it's like 5 years before you get to play it, and the new one's out.
I'm actually okay with the 2-year thing personally.
Way too soon for me. Way too soon for me.
That is interesting. That is interesting. I
personally,
feel like it's all a personal thing, because at the end of the day, we're going to be playing it on the best place possible on a PlayStation 5 with a DualSense controller.
That actually, for the record, though, is true for PlayStation exclusives. Not necessarily true for all games like Fallout, The Witcher.
Yeah. You want mods and stuff, you want to go over there, no problem, go get PC.
Play on PC. But a game like Horizon, a game like God of War, the best way to experience it is on the current generation PS5 or PS4, wherever the game was intended to run on, because that's where it's optimized best. It's where the sound is best. It's where the controller integration is best. Running with the DualSense is going to be incredible. Like, you will not play the same game if that's all. That's big enough to make my mind up for God of War 5. Because if on one of them, let's say it's the exact same game. Let's say somehow they make the PS4 play it, somehow. Except on one of them, I've got the DualSense with the Leviathan axe and all that stuff, and on the other, it's just a DS4.
Yeah,
it's not the same game. It's not the same game.
Nope.
I want the haptic. You need the haptic. I want to feel that Leviathan axe come. It's not. I can't say it enough. It's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to read out regarding the God of War news and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Diogo did write in and he says, so God of War is 2022. No surprise there. But it's going to be cross-gen too, and he's got the Zavala facepalm thing right there.
Yeah.
As someone who bought a PS5 being hyped for what next gen has to show, I've been very disappointed with the lack of next gen games. For the first year, I get, since not everyone is on a next gen console, but hearing that the games in 2 years will still be cross gen too, just why? I get the business decision to make more money, but since Sony leading up to the PS5 were saying, we believe in generations, in quotation marks, they certainly haven't acted like it. I feel like Horizon Forbidden West and God of War 2, God of War 5.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Will be severely held back on the PlayStation 4 as they can't just cut out stuff. Sure, it will look nicer and run better, but there were features that only next gen can handle. You see, Diogo
That's
gets it
the
right
point.
there. I remember one of the devs saying that they couldn't have Aloy fly with the Glint Hawk in the first game due to the technical limitations. So having it being taken out seemingly of the second game is just annoying. That's a really good point. They said that when the first game was coming out and they didn't know whether they were going to make the next game for both gens, it's clear that that was something they could have done.
Exactly, that's the thing. So to be clear, they literally took out an entire plane of existence from the game. Could be in there. It's powerful enough. It can do it. It can render it.
Exactly. Limitations taken out of this game. I can't begin to think of what else could possibly be cut from the next God of War. Don't recall the PS3 or 360 getting this treatment, other than like Call of Duty, FIFA, AC Rogue. I don't recall any of these games being out of 2014. And that's the thing, those are third-party games. So even third parties only went up to 1 year.
I can't wait to play God of War 5 on my PS2.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't we make The Last of Us. When that first came out, why didn't that come out for the PS2?
It's anti-consumer.
Why didn't Last of Us 2, this is a good point, why didn't Last of Us Part 2 come out for PS3? Because the initial fan base was on PS3.
Yeah.
That's where Last of Us came out. You're not serving your previous customers. Come on, Sony.
Doesn't make any sense, does it?
Anti-consumer right there.
Doesn't make any sense. This is also, by the way, one of the reasons I say that we're only Sony ponies because it looks like it, because we really aren't. If they make a mistake, we're going to beef them out.
This whole podcast is evidence.
This, by the way, is a huge mistake. This is damaging to Sony. It's damaging to the PS5. It's damaging to the game. It is a huge mistake. And actually, it's one that Microsoft haven't made somehow because they haven't made any games.
Yes.
They have totally avoided this huge error, and now they get to see what a huge error it is.
Whoa! Okay, so let's stick to the 1 year thing we said. We're not going to go beyond 1 year. We'll do Halo Infinite. After that, don't do this thing.
Ironically, because it's the same architecture, they could actually make it where because they can make something and turn the dials down, but that's not the way the PS5 can work.
So theirs is closer.
Exactly. Theirs is sort of like they're cousins. For us, we're a different species. Yeah. PS4 and PS5 are not the same thing.
Theirs is all a Windows machine. That's all it is. It's a less powerful PC, a less optimized PC.
It's super powerful PC or less powerful PC. Right. But like it doesn't you can just turn settings down because all the architecture, the bones are all the same. This is totally different. You know, trying to stretch like a dog's skin over an elephant it's not going to fit. No. It doesn't work.
He finally says here, so hearing that there'll still be PS4 games in 2022 is baffling to me. I get it. Not everyone has a PS5, but I'm still disappointed. You're rightfully disappointed there. Jack also adds to Diogo's thing. Just to add to Diogo's post, do people actually think that the game not being completely next-gen rather than cross-gen is severely going to hamper it? We've already seen through the remaster of PS4 games that they can alter the experience entirely on PS5, and I suspect the same can happen here. Like, what do you think you're not getting by it being able to be cross-gen? What have they altered on PS4 games before? So he says remaster PS4 games. A remaster isn't altering the game. It's altering the look of the game, but the look isn't altering the game. What we're saying is like we came up with a crazy example for God of War, where say there's a fight with a dragon, let's say, and it's you jump on the dragon's back and you go flying from one part of the map to another part of the thing, and you jump off and you have to throw your axe at it, and then it picks you up and takes you over to another area.
Or like maybe it can throw you off at any point.
Any single point you jump down, and it's a real place, and it's a place that you've been before because you've seen your item that you dropped or something like that. That could be something cool, could be shit, we don't know. Could be something great. That's not possible on a PS4. So what do? They cut it because they have to make them the same. Or like they make it a cutscene.
The Unreal Engine example, instead of you being able to fly down that thing, it's just a cutscene and you're watching it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to watch a movie. I want to play the game.
Yeah. Or they completely change that entirely. They're like, we can't get them to go that fast, so we have to make them stop before for no reason.
Right.
And put filler inside.
So it can functionally delete what came and load what's coming.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we personally do think there'll be a major lack of experience, let's say.
The only thing that's going to be bullshit about this is that we will have no way to prove it.
Yeah.
There will be no,
this is
what they took out.
In 2 years' time, one of the devs who got an award for a boss fight is going to say, yeah, actually, the original idea for that boss fight had 3 stages before it, but the PS4 couldn't run it, so we had to cut it. But
it's the Snyder Cut.
Right.
It's the Snyder Cut of video games.
But seriously, though, here's the question. How pissed are you going to be when you buy God of War and you get the Joss Whedon Justice League, right? And then you get a PS5... You get the PS5 update and they do give you the Justice League. They give you the Snyder Cut. And suddenly that boss fight that was mostly filler and shit and didn't make any sense now has all these extra phases and stages and it's a different game and it's so much better. How pissed are you going to be?
Yeah.
And you're not going to go, oh man, next time I'll make sure the generation... You're going to say, no, you sold me a shitty copy of the game. That's what you're going to think.
Yeah.
Because that's how most people think about this stuff. At least those who... And I don't mean to call you those people short-sighted as an insult, but like short-sighted by saying, I want to get to play the game and I only have a PS4. And really you should be saying, I cannot wait to get my PS5 so I can play that game.
Yeah.
Right? But the short-sightedness is, I want to play it.
Yeah.
And I get it, but it's not going to be the game that you wanted.
We fortunately have a good group of lads because no matter any time that I put up these tweets...
Are you sure some of these dickheads can't tell the difference between a burger and a sandwich?
Okay, so sometimes they're good, sometimes they're R-word. Whenever I put up a tweet, our guys always say like, because a lot of our guys still haven't got a PlayStation 5. They can't get one. They're
I understand it.
I don't have a PlayStation 5. I don't want to play this game unless it's a PlayStation 5 game. I don't want this game to be hampered in any way. I want it to be the best possible. So when I do get my PS5, I'm going to be like, in my veins.
Here's the thing. Have you noticed sometimes, every now and again, one of the guys does get a PS5. And all of us, it's this huge celebration. Oh my God, congratulations, glad to have you on the current gen, all this stuff. No need for it now. It's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
So
There's
what?
no point.
Wow, you spent $500? Why didn't you just play it on your PS4?
What an idiot.
Right? So that celebration, that elation, it's all gone.
Pointless.
Because functionally now all they have got is and this is the ironic thing, is these guys complaining that you just want faster load times are making it a reality where all you get is faster load times.
Yes.
Which is you're the problem.
You're the reason why we're getting
I honestly don't care about load times. Forget the fact that there weren't any in God of War.
Exactly, there weren't any in the first
It
place.
already wasn't there.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I would love 60 FPS, but if they do that blending thing, I'll take 30 FPS the way it looked. Just give me the game I deserve with the mechanics. You can update it later for the 60 FPS. I don't give a frick about ray tracing. God of War 4 looked incredible. I'll take those graphics.
Yeah.
I'll take them. Just give me God of War 5. Give me the PS5 utility that SSD can do. I don't care how it looks.
Yeah.
Because God of War 4 looks incredible. It still looks incredible.
Sorry
Sorry to bang on about this. I really feel like we've beaten this horse, but
this needed to be said.
It's near and dear to our heart, and it is a huge mistake. It gets rid of an incentive to push consoles. It damages the game. It damages the gaming experience. It allows Microsoft to control the narrative about what it should be, and the only reason they did that was as a preemptive assault because they had nothing to show, which is great. A great move from Microsoft.
Fantastic move.
It was a brilliant business move from them.
Fucking pulled it off, son.
Yeah, but what they've done what Sony have done by buying into it and not sticking to their guns, which it was an easy enough position to defend. Like, I'm sorry, but we're not going to make games for 7, 8, 10-year-old hardware. We can make something so much better now, and
just need to have common sense,
right? And you'll get it.
Yeah,
eventually you will, and it will be. But we want you to get it and feel like it was worth getting, because even if you get one on sale or secondhand, it's still going to be a big expense, and we want you to know that it was worth the money. And that's why we have to make the best games we're capable of making.
Yeah,
that would have been acceptable. Everybody's going to be salty. The worst thing is you have us who couldn't find. We had said they haven't made a mistake. Here it is, and it's a freaking big one.
It's a big one. I hope that now nobody tries to say that we're in one camp or the other.
No.
We're just fans of good things, because we will call out anyone who does something stupid. And this 52-minute segment of shitting on Sony for a stupid decision should be proof of that.
Thing is, as well, we've always said, don't trust corporations. Don't trust Sony will fuck you over if they can. Yeah. The only reason they haven't done it is because, luckily for them, Microsoft went first, fucked up,
showed all the mistakes.
The reality is, Sony probably had stuff like that in the works. They saw that Microsoft fucked up, and they said, scrap that, change it all, and went out on stage and said, we're never doing that, right? That's the only reason. They'll do you over if they can. They're a soulless corporation, of course they are. They're suits. But they just got the marketing right, and
I'd like to know what changed. What ticked over in their mind to change that? Because they had the messaging, and they even had... They sound like they got the idea. They were like, we're going to have generational cut-offs.
They also got the numbers, they got the sales, they got the attention.
Anymore. Anyway, let's move on to our next one. I feel like we've covered that enough. Guys, let us know in the chat as well what you guys feel, in the comment section, how you guys feel like this has gone. After everything's settled and we get the game, because we can't control it after from now. We just have to accept it and go forward. Yeah. We'll have a good game that we will enjoy. I'm sure the story will be there.
I might start tweeting Cory Balrog, whatever his name is, every day until...
he remakes it.
God of War 5 is a PS5 exclusive only, and that includes once the game comes out, and if it's on PS5, sorry, Corey, you're gonna have to leave Twitter.
Game, guys.
You're gonna have to leave Twitter because I'm not stopping.
Our next topic, breaking news.
Yeah.
Just a bit of an update for you guys. The ESA, the guys who run E3, have published their schedule. June 12th is going to be Ubisoft and Gearbox, and nothing interesting there.
Yeah, we can
skip right over
free,
that.
Forget it.
June 13th is going to be Microsoft and Bethesda all in one showcase.
Yeah.
That's
that could
cool.
be interesting.
That would be very cool.
That would be good,
I'll enjoy that. Square Enix, Warner Bros. / Back 4 Blood is going to be shown at that one as well. And the PC Gaming Show all on one day. TurboTax and Minesweeper, probably something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
June 14th, Take-Two and Capcom. So possibly we're going to get GTA 5 Enhanced Edition probably revealed
Probably there.
that, yeah. And June 15th, Nintendo and Bandai Namco, and also E3 are having an award ceremony on that day as well.
Don't care about the awards.
Are they trying to compete with Game Awards or something like that?
It's weird, or us. The Conbrosations Awards, right? Like, what the hell?
What are they trying to do? Are they trying to take away from us? Motherfuckers, that's it. Now we're getting tweeting, guys.
Get legal, boys. I think Nintendo and Bandai actually could be a really good one.
I think it could be
cool. We'll see what they come up with. I'm really looking forward to see more about the new Pokemon.
Oh.
Right?
Also, it's possible.
I mean,
at this event, we're going to get to see the new Nintendo Switch Pro.
That would be cool.
I'm looking forward to that. However, I don't know what it's going to be, because Nintendo don't usually go talk about specs.
Yeah.
They don't go, this has 14 terafloppers, guys. That's not their market, and that's not them.
It's not their realm.
The Switch Pro, so far as we know, is just going to be a more powerful version of the Switch.
Yeah.
How do they present it then? Because then what they're going to be like, this is the Nintendo Switch Pro, and you can do everything that you do on the Nintendo Switch.
Just a bit faster.
But that's the thing, they never mention that kind of stuff, so how are they going to market it? This is new territory for them.
It's going to be an interesting one. I was just thinking, though, suddenly the change has been companies that can't put a foot wrong, putting a foot wrong. Sony.
God. Oh, God.
So now Nintendo have a brand new Pokemon that totally departs from the recipe. Right?
I can sense it. I can sense it.
They took the recipe and they went, yeah, this curry will work fine with tofu.
Oh, boy. No. Also, Netflix did announce. I just remember. Sorry,
Yeah.
my notes here. Netflix announced on the 11th of June, so day before everything gets going. And then Netflix Geek Week, they're calling it. So recently
They want to get
announced-
into gaming, don't they?
That's
So,
it. They
yeah.
recently announced they're getting into gaming, and they poached a couple of really big names in the industry to get some information from this, get some
Yeah.
insight, and to do stuff. No idea what it is. If I had to take an educated guess, they've got a streaming platform. They're gonna go for something like Stadia. That's what I
Yeah.
assume. That's what I assume, but with no way of knowing.
The thing is, if they make games, if they publish a game, and they do it the way they've been making shows, which in general are very good, that could be interesting. Game streaming, it's 20 years away.
It just, no one seems to want to adopt it now. There are some people that are like, yeah, this is good enough and whatnot, but I feel like they're the more casual people.
Yeah, and I just think that like the internet infrastructure,
For everyone, is not that great.
it's got to be minimum 50 down, 20 up for everyone. That's got to be the like, that's all you've got for like peasant level,
Yeah,
and then it only goes up for it to even be viable.
yeah.
And even then, like, that isn't the way it always, just internet speed is not the way things work with like ping to servers and then server load when 10 million people are trying to access a thing. And I don't know. It could just look, businesses make decisions that don't pan out all the time. This could just be a thing where we wanted to do it, it didn't work, we're sticking to shows.
Yeah. Or it could just be they want to start a studio for some of their best IPs or something like that.
It's perfectly reasonable to think
And
that
then go
gaming,
to PlayStation
that,
or
like,
Xbox and go, hey, you want this IP?
Yeah,
Make a game
like-
for us?
you know how there's no reason to think that in 5 years' time you won't pick up a game like, oh, who's making it? Oh, Netflix Studios. Oh, sick.
Yeah. No
You know,
reason to think that. Can't have that.
That's a totally plausible future. It'd be interesting to see.
Okay. Our next topic.
I'm all now whining about God of War. I can't believe they did that.
It's sort of taking a bit of a downer, isn't it?
It's really kicked me in the balls.
Let's kick it back up.
Okay.
Not your balls, but kick the
they need to
life
descend,
back up.
yeah,
They
yeah.
kick the life of the show back up. 2, Horizon Forbidden West getting its first gameplay demo
Yeah.
running on PlayStation 5.
Yep.
And my God, did it look stunning.
It does look really good.
I had a few little things like I mentioned earlier about the grass thing, but that was really pretty much the only thing that I thought was bad about it.
Yeah.
Everything else, it looked vibrant, it looked colourful, it looked fun as hell. Like the character models look so much more detailed.
Way better.
They
If you look at the
enemy
new Aloy
variety-
compared to the old Aloy, like the what's that? The shard, and even that looks so much improved.
Yeah.
Skin texturing, hair.
Speaking of hair and like skin, some people were idiots. Basically, were complaining that when they saw this screenshot of Aloy, this like really detailed one up her face, they were like, "Oh, that looks like there's aliasing going around her face. Like it looks like really bad render or something like that."
It's mouse hair.
It was exactly little baby hairs on her face. That's how detailed the character model was. I was like, "Oh,
It's sick. It looks gorgeous. And one of the things I'm really liking about Horizon Forbidden West is, and I felt this about Zero Dawn. Zero Dawn's a bit dark.
yeah,
I mean, literally, like there's, it's just a little bit, not, maybe muted isn't the right word, but you spend a bunch of time in like desert area or snow area.
brown cave,
Right.
yeah.
And this one, it's like, like Bermuda beach water and stuff like that.
Yes.
And it looks gorgeous. I cannot wait to experience that. I will say, I was in the camp that had the beef with the way Aloy looked.
Her new look.
Yeah, there's a couple of stills that I can't tell if they're just bad angles or what.
Go ahead.
But she does kind of look like a chunky monkey in a few.
I was saying that she looked more. I guess she's been not working out, but fucking climbing shit for all of her life. That she's got a bit more like muscular and a bit more bigger like that.
I'm thinking in her face because she looks to me like she's carrying like baby fat, and
I didn't personally see that.
yeah, so maybe it's just me, and I get that. But like I compared the way like her physical image, forget like resolution and stuff, to the original game, and she looks chunkier. And I just don't think for me it is an immersion thing that. The whole reason Aloy can compete in this world is she's very agile. She's like a gymnast and stuff, right? So she can dodge out of the way and roll and stuff. So it doesn't make sense for her to gain a lot of muscle mass because it doesn't make any difference fighting a Robo T-Rex anyway.
Right.
and she doesn't. She's like nomadic. She travels a lot, foraging. She doesn't have the luxury of gaining any fat. She just doesn't have it. There was also another thing where someone had gender swapped her face, and she just kind of looks like Chris Pratt. Go to my Twitter.
Really?
See it.
Oh shit! I need to see this.
In fact, male Aloy looks hot.
Yeah.
Male Aloy is a stunner, but the current Aloy is not so much. It's not as hot as the first one. At least it looked that way. Now, in fairness, there are other angles of it where but you see the fat.
What's that?
Yeah, because she kind of looks chunky. If you scroll down on my timeline, it is there somewhere. I think I retweeted it.
1 second.
Might be in tweets and replies. I don't know. But you'll maybe come across it. Let me know.
Oh,
yeah,
here we
there.
go. Oh yeah. Oh fuck. Okay. I would bang male.
Yeah,
Aloy as well.
Maloy looks pretty good, but do you see what I mean? Like, she just kind of looks like a grumpy, kind of chunky kid.
I don't.
Whereas he looks like... Do you see what I mean? Like, I don't... It's a bit odd.
Hold on a second.
Maybe we'll put this up on the screen.
Horizon.
Why? What's up?
I don't want to...
Oh, you think it's a fake picture?
Because she's looking at the camera. I don't remember that. It could be that she's like that. I don't know.
Because there are other stills where the angles are different and she looks fine. But
okay,
in these...
This is looking at off to the camera, but it
Right.
looks relatively the same.
It's the
So
same.
I imagine it's the same thing.
In this angle in particular, she does look kind of chunky around the face. In other angles, it isn't anywhere near that bad. So, like, if you look at that, with a comparison of Zero Dawn versus Forbidden West, she's chunky. Look how, like, she's got almost a double chin. Her face is rounded out a lot. However, I do think that is this angle.
Right.
Because in other angles, she doesn't look that bad.
Doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was the angle and whatnot. But did you see what that one guy who got roasted for?
I did see that was ridiculous.
One guy got roasted because he was like, she doesn't look feminine enough. She doesn't look like a woman, and did a whole like face swap, but basically changed her so she could have like makeup and like a proper like model chin and stuff like that.
I think he face swapped her with like a K-pop girl band,
something like that. It's like this is like a proper feminine woman. What they look like. The whole internet turned on the guy.
That was ridiculous.
News outlets started turning on the guy. I was just like, at some point, this is the point where you have to delete your Twitter and just go offline.
Yeah.
Start new. No one will know who you are anymore. You just give up on life.
Yeah. Because like that image there, she looks fine.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it was just a couple of bad stills.
I think it... Do you know what I think personally it might be? A bit of like an angle maybe, perhaps. A bit... I don't know. I took it as like... Granted, it's muscle and you're not exactly working out your chin or anything like that. But I thought she just gained weight on all areas because she's like getting bigger and whatnot. But also, I just thought it was like the character model from back then is very simplistic and very...
In comparison, it is a lot more.
And just like, okay, we've made a round thing and this is more human, I would say.
Potentially, I'd say that's fair because if you look at
She
just
doesn't
like...
look that bad.
Yeah, she looks fine there where she's drawing back the arrow. Like... The extra details I get, but I do think they like made her sort of more androgynous. She looks a bit more male, a bit more masculine, a bit chunkier. And because for some reason there's this weird thing of like you can't make women hot. Like your female protagonist can't be sexy as well. Like Bayonetta.
There's a group of people that see it as like, well, you're setting unrealistic standards for thing, and it's like, well,
look at
you're
Chris
setting the
Hemsworth
standard.
as Thor.
We didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, right. Like Thor's a realistic standard.
So for example, this happened with Bayonetta. Do you know that game?
Yeah,
it's
I
a
know
JRPG, and the creator of Bayonetta is a woman, and she specifically said, "Yeah, I made her look like that way on purpose. She wears the high heels and everything." And they were like, "But that's sexist." She's like, "No, I wanted this to be a badass, my ultimate woman, badass, sexy, gorgeous, can do it all in high heels because that's what I wanted to make." So,
but you're sexist,
right? Exactly. So I do worry that is a thing, and I already have that concern with Aloy. From my experience of Horizon Zero Dawn, as I remember it, there is a very strong anti-man sexism going through it. Aloy has almost no character as far as I can remember. And so I'm a little bit concerned that they've also done this to her character model. However, I appreciate it's a few angles, and You know, in the rest
And
of them, she looks fine.
as well, so
We haven't played it, and in the rest of them, she looks fine.
Yeah. I don't remember this angle of her looking
it
at the
looks
camera.
bad, doesn't it? It looks.
I'm always.
It doesn't.
Anyway.
That angle of her looking at the camera doesn't look good. But there are other angles where she looks fine. It's odd. I was in the camp where I don't think that angle looks good. But again, it's a bad angle.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see.
Speaking of the rest of the game, though,
Yeah.
it looked very cool. There was two things that stuck out. One, I think Sean pointed this out. The other guy in the video,
Yeah.
her friend, the Aaron guy, he has a focus as well. And in the previous game, no one else had a focus
Just
other
her.
than her and this one guy in the beginning, and then it was broken
yeah.
and that was lost. So there's an interesting thing there. And also, one of these shots, there's like a hologram that appears, and it has a couple of numbers in the hologram, and it says 9/10. And people have taken that to mean the 10th of September,
Right.
which happens to land on a Friday,
Right.
which is when games come out. Possible release date?
Maybe.
It would line up with
Question
what I
mark?
said, September. I called that shit.
You did.
We'll have to wait and see.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Also-
but the robot Tusk Maw, the mammoth thing.
Right.
Unbelievable.
There's. I just want to play the game in a bright, vibrant forest with that gorgeous water and stuff. Like that's the way I want to play this game.
It's good.
Such a good aesthetic. Look at that.
That guy's gorgeous, I have to say.
He is, isn't it?
Oh boy. The next thing, a couple of things just to wrap up. Battlefield 6's reveal is going to be happening on the 9th of June, so
Yeah.
just before
The
E3.
E3 kickoff, yeah.
However, it's just going to be the reveal, so I'm imagining it's just going to be like a little trailer, not so much gameplay, just showing off what the new thing looks like. And then apparently, all the way at the end of July, there's going to be an EA Play.
Why?
So they're going to reveal the game and they're going to be like, and see you never, guys.
Yeah, why? Why?
No fucking clue.
Also, surely you just move the EA Play to then, in front of E3 when everyone's eyes are on this stuff and hype's up. Once everybody's seen E3 and Summer Game Fest, no one's going to care.
I don't get it.
It's weird.
I don't get it.
It's weird.
The next BioShock game apparently might be exclusive to the PlayStation 5.
Okay.
We spoke a little bit about BioShock, and I remember I was saying, like, what is like BioShock like? Because I've never played it. And you were saying, I don't think it's for you, etc.
No reason not to play
that.
it now.
Exactly. No, I don't know what... I mean, I've only ever watched gameplay of it, and I've only ever seen other people doing Let's Plays of it, and it seemed okay. I don't know.
I found
Is this a big deal for people at home? You can let me know.
I find it enjoyable, but I think okay is a little... It's better than okay.
Okay.
It's good, but it's not like the way I talked about Mass Effect.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, or any of those other games. It's not.
What was really
Okay.
interesting about this, the way that it came out, was that BioShock, the headline of these things were BioShock Infinite 4 might be a PlayStation exclusive. Source, a YouTuber on the Xbox Era podcast. PlayStation news coming out of an Xbox podcast. That's a weird one right there.
Well, also a
Breaking
YouTuber,
news.
a YouTuber on a podcast said a thing. That's their source. Can't
We'll
trust games journalists.
We'll see what happens there. And our final topic, the one that I want to bring up, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Next week will be 6 months that it's not been on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah.
Its anniversary. Sony are apparently punishing them really hard for what they did to them, saying
Good.
that you can just go get a refund from Sony if you want, when they don't do refunds.
Yeah.
They're making them apparently jump through a lot of hoops. The guys at CDPR saying that there's a bunch of milestones they have to hit before they're allowed back on the PlayStation Network, which fucking you gotta give it to Sony for just saying, like, don't care who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
You fucked up. You made us look bad. Go run a mile.
Yeah.
Go run a mile.
Now, I wish we were saying this and saying that God of War was only a PS5 exclusive, because now we're praising Sony, but they are correct to do it, and I think that makes sense. I hate to give them praise now.
Yeah, when they've done something bad, right?
But, you know, they're right, because CDPR did a shit business move. It was underhanded and dirty, and they passed the buck on to PlayStation.
Yep.
knowing that that would insulate them.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Not okay. Konrad Tomaszkiewicz,
Yeah.
that guy, the director of Witcher 3, and one of the design directors for Cyberpunk 2077 has left Cyberpunk 2077, along with a bunch of other people as well have left the company.
Konrad was there for like 12 years and left recently, so I think
it's kind of telling of what's the feeling is inside, right?
I would not be surprised to find that CDPR just don't make... They kind of go a Bethesda.
You really think
or
so?
a BioWare.
Shit.
You know, like BioWare made Mass Effect, and then they made Anthem.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like it could just, it's the sad truth, because we were those. I was that guy that I never thought BioWare could make a bad game. It genuinely, it's impossible. These are the guys that made Mass Effect, and Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3. They can't make bad games.
Yeah.
Then you get games like this, so it's a pity. But CDPR,
I think they're going that way.
we're seeing a bunch of guys go that way. You know, Fallout 76 did it. Was an Anthem. Didn't brick consoles, but trash. You know, so I guess we'll wait and see. On the plus side, though, those guys leaving likely means they've gone on to greener pastures.
Hopefully, yeah.
We hope. And what I choose to believe, my chosen belief, is that talent pools, and those guys will find themselves on incredible projects.
Hope so.
And we end up with even better titles.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That's a good way to look at it. I like your optimism for once.
Yeah. Probably not, though.
Just strike that down. It's off-brand. I can't do it. A little bit more information from Cyberpunk. CDPR's Q1 net profits are down by 64%.
Oh,
that's immense. They didn't give an update, full update on sales, but people managed to infer from not total numbers based on previous numbers. They've sold only 1 million units since January. So 6 months, only 1 million units. And in the first, 20 days, they sold 13 million units. So that's a drop-off right there.
That's significant. Although, interestingly, I replied to someone's tweet who said Cyberpunk was in the top 10. Now, it was 10, but it was in the top 10 for Steam downloads, which is interesting.
Interesting. I wonder how they did that.
Yeah, so that's odd. Maybe it was sales or something like that. I don't know. Tough to tell. Although I also got a bunch of hate. I responded to the guy like, how even? And the guy was like, it's okay, and everybody had this thing, and it works now. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not how this works. Like, the game works now.
Well, it doesn't work now because I've also got the Cyberpunk 2077 Stability Improvement Report.
Oh, God.
And when I first saw this, I thought this was the stock prices.
Right.
Because it's just trending downwards.
Yeah.
But anyway, the crash rate, as you can see, super high at the beginning.
Yeah.
And after every patch, it's sort of like, there's a spike and then it goes down, spike and then it goes down. But to be honest, even this is unacceptable where it is right now.
It is. You know,
it's still very, very high.
It's funny you mention that, because the last 2 times I've played the game, because I played it a couple times recently, it almost crashed. I know it sounds weird, but it would end a cutscene and then I would get a black screen and I'd be like, it's still playing audio, so I'll give it extra time. But I had crashes where it just black screened with the game sound there.
There you go.
And I've been on the verge of restarting and it's like fixed the error or whatever and come back on. But I know it sounds weird, because if it doesn't crash, it's not a crash.
Right.
But it was like...
But you have all of those moments.
Yeah, and I'm like, these random black moments, because like it black screens and then loading screen comes up. And I'm like, why did it do that? Was that a micro crash?
It's clear it like fixed itself, but it was stopped. It was like, oh wait, hold on.
It's weird. So I don't want to call them mini crashes or something like that, but definitely felt like that, and I was this close to restarting it both times I fired it up.
And also they've updated their timeline for upcoming patches.
Oh, really?
The next gen updates.
When's the DLC coming?
DLCs, exactly. So they've got all their previous ones that they've lined up and like where they came out, and now they've just got this entire section that extends from now all the way past 2022, so all the way up to like the middle of 2022. It goes off the screen, where it just says free DLCs, multiple patches and updates, and the new gen edition coming.
Okay.
And I love how previously that was up to the end of 2022, and now the thing extends past 2022. This game is gone. This game is a...
It's a train wreck, and I doubt they'll be able to recover from it.
Doesn't seem like they
The
can,
reality
right?
is the game is taking too long to get it to be stable, and it
Yes.
isn't. It's not stable. But to stabilize it, they would need to come out with some Blood and Stone, Blood and Wine or Heart of Stone level DLC
Mhm.
for free to get this game back in even the current players who enjoy its good graces. And I do follow a couple of like Cyberpunk Instagram pages,
Yeah.
and they post like great bits that have come up, but those I notice are all PC guys, and they all have like 200 frames. They're running beast rigs that
Yeah.
can they can power through any of the issues. The game's dead. They need to bring out some incredible DLC to repair their image. Forget the game.
That's the main point. Their image is
Right.
the main point.
And then whatever game comes out next, they have to smash it. And even then, sales are going to be low. It's going to be like a Battlefront 2, where it will pick up. But I think if they can kind of repair their stuff now, bring out an incredible game, and just accept that it will be slowly adopted, and then by the end of that, have their name back, that's the only way they can be healthy again. But they won't do that because they're a company. They became Suits. They'll never do that. Sad times in gaming, man.
Is sad.
Some great
guys.
times, and it was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
It was the worst of times. That's all the topics that we have for today.
Yeah.
I'm going to kick it over to some of our bros who wrote into our Patreon. Patreon.com
Gaming.
/Conbrosations. I'm just pulling up the comments just now.
I love how you intro it before we have the comments up.
Yeah, it could have been nobody there, and then I'd be like, actually, do you know what? I don't think I posted the correct one. Nope, I didn't post up
God.
there yet. Sorry, guys.
Damn it!
Forget I said anything.
God damn it. Let's go to the Discord
Let's
instead.
go to the Discord. I didn't post up there. What an idiot. So some of our guys wrote in.
Oh, God.
Juice wrote in after seeing what Jack wrote down.
Yeah.
He's saying, I agree with Jack. Games like Marvel Spider-Man Remastered and Spider-Man Miles Morales look incredible on PS5, much better than their PS4 counterparts, though the game may only be able to show its full potential with the PS5 exclusivity. I don't think the game being cross-gen will make much of a difference. I feel like we covered it in great detail. Unfortunately, that's not the case.
It's apples to oranges, that.
Exactly. You're
taking a PS4 game and allowing it to be turned up.
Yeah. That's not making it in a different way, which is the way it would have been on the PlayStation 5 right there. And also Spleen Bob, Ding Dag sent in the ESA published E3 schedule there, which is good. And Dan wrote in, I'm still mad at you for this, which is the clip of me letting Rex die.
Yeah, I saw. That's how I found out, by the way.
Sheps,
last night.
what do you think about Eddie doing this to Rex? Are you still upset now that you've had some time to process it?
Personally, I think you're the one that started dating Space Hitler, and when she space holocausts Rex, you should have to live with that. Is what I think. All I'm saying is, there's something coming up, and you better make the right decision. You better make it.
All right, Tarly's dying, guys. Tarly's dying. Listen, I'm just saying, Garrus has a much better thigh gap than any of the girls on the thing, right? So
He does.
His gap is like, woo!
He does. And look, if you're sensible, in one of the next games, you'll keep your save but make it a femshep. Because you can do that.
Ooh,
I'm pretty sure you can do that. I forget. Although, actually, maybe, because I did 1 and 2 on the Xbox and then 3 on the PS4, or whichever 3 it was. And so I came in cold and said I simulated a save. And so I don't know if that changed anything.
Right.
I'm not sure if you can do that if you're going continuously. We'll find out.
Let's see.
We'll find out.
All right, guys, that's everything we have to talk about here today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another episode of the True Gaming Podcast. We love your support, and thank you for keeping us going over here.
Yeah.
We'll catch you guys next week for all of the E3 madness that's going to be going on.
Yeah.
And also back here again on Thursday when we can talk a little bit more about some gaming. It'll be right at the beginning of the E3 stuff, so probably we'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. Our
predictions are locked in.
Predictions are locked in. Go check out the predictions episode with Billy. That was really, really fun.
We'll link, if we remember, which we definitely won't. It'll be linked. It won't be linked. You'll have to look for it.
Exactly.
And now I think we're going to record the Conbrosations podcast, which you non-Patreon plebs don't have access to, but you can get access for as little as $1 a month over on patreon.com/Conbrosations. Goddamn, Mike.
$1. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Anyway, guys, we'll catch you all in the next one, bro. I'll catch you in a few moments on the podcast.
Cool.
I didn't do anything silly this time.
You didn't, and I appreciate it.
There you go.